Hello and welcome back to Simon's Trading Channel. You know the rest. Welcome to my daily Bitcoin price action analysis. Happy Sunday to you. Latter part of the weekend, and I hope it's been a fun one. Nice day here in Wales, which is good after a bit of a cold spell. Here's just a weather update. It now is feeling a bit more like spring again. And even though I think, are we on British summertime? Yes, indeed, we're on British summertime. So it should be feeling rather more summery than springy. But that's enough of that rubbish. Now, before I get into the price section, I just want to remind you this is not financial advice. Okay, there's a weekly chart right there in front of your face with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks within the range. And if I just referred to the weekly closure on CME over here at 63,300. You can see that Bybit's sort of working its way back to there, but needs to put in another $500 or so to the upside in the next 5 hours before it closes its weekly candles. So be interesting to see whether or not it does that, and I might be able to give a logical opinion on that in a moment. But by all accounts, it's going to be 7 weeks closed within the range, and that means there's only one left to go to make my prediction come true. Although, do you know what? I feel like it might go on even longer, at which point I will be really frustrated with this range, and as will pretty much everyone, I imagine. But that can be the best time. That can be the best opportunities when everyone gets bored of what's going on. You know, those can be the opportunities, the opportunistic times when you can make the most gains. So, when it all goes quiet, that's the time to be aware of what's going on in the market. So when the volatility is cooled off, which that's all this is a cooling volatility, that's when the next move is coming. When it comes, nobody knows, but it's, 7 weeks now. And this last move, for example, was 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It broke on the 9th week. So, I don't know, maybe Bitcoin will do the same. Right, that's enough chat on the weekly. If I just move this thing that you can't see out of the way, I'm going to now zoom down. I'm on Bybit. Just a daily. You're probably wondering, what are all those crazy blue lines? Well, these blue lines I've just for fun really put on to mark off each of the moves that has occurred in the way I look at a chart in the last 7 weeks. Now, the question on all of on my mind is this going to go further down? So will this trend line be broken, or will it extend maybe down to the bottom of the range? And if I check in on the lower time frames, I might be able to answer that question. Right now, though, daily MACD below the zero line, therefore momentum is to the downside still, and it's hovering a bit, but a long way from the number needed to turn it up. To cross the zero line back to the upside on the daily, which would then, in my view, put momentum back onto the upside, which is what everyone wants. Even if they won't tell you, that's what they want. Right, the 4 hour, you can see has put in a bit of a low here. And I had the trend line there. I don't know if you remember. It's basically 62.5, give or take. And it was a bit of a do not cross this level Bitcoin, otherwise you're probably going back down to the bottom of the range. And it's still there. But the 4 hour MACD is still below the zero line, and therefore momentum is still, in my opinion, to the downside. And it's getting a bit closer. So this value is more significant. But I think basically, when Bitcoin gets back above the midpoint of this range, which is, as we all know, around 66,000, it's like somewhere between 65 and 67, but let's call it 66,000. That would correspond to likely the MACD crossing back up on the 4 hour, and then momentum to the upside resumes. Now, to put a bit of meat on the bones of this most recent down move, so you can see here on the 15-minute time frame, from the current, this is a local high up here, this consolidation area, and then so there's the local low, move up, you see that blue trend line, and then there's been a move down. Now, there's basically a super tight range of which if Bitcoin gets back above, then probably all of the momentum up to about 4 hour will switch back up to the upside. And that's back above this high here. So back above basically 65.3, but wicks could definitely get up there. You'd want to see a 4 hour closure back above there. So obviously low time frames first, and then hopefully followed by a couple of 4 hour candles back above there. And then that then turns this from what looks like continuation to the downside, overshot there a bit, sorry, to, if I don't think you can say this yet, but if I just get rid of that line, see this here, and there's a very, very low time frame uptrend, and you don't want to, there's too many lines on this chart as it is, but if that can continue, and you'll only see that properly on maybe a 5-minute chart, so that's getting very, very low, and I don't want to go that low. So, but you can see here, I've got a sequence of higher lows, with this being the bottom, and basically this being the top. So that in itself then becomes a range with a bottom around sort of just call it 62,250. And then the top at sort of just call it 64,350. So in between there, it's neither here nor there. Back above there, this is continuation of this mini time frame uptrend, but back below there, and then that's just more downside that you can see here, continuing this trend line. So I think Bitcoin's trying hard to make this whole area a high-ish time frame low. So you can see that better on the 4 hour. Sorry, the old internet connection is not the best today. It's taking a while to load. I think Bitcoin is trying very hard for this bit here to be a low. And therefore you got a low here, a low here. Well, what's that? That's a higher low, and that's then an uptrend. But it's got to get, in my opinion, it's got to get back above 65,250, 4 hour closures, ideally daily closure, and then maybe a move up to the midpoint, and then, see what happens, probably get a bit of resistance there, but it'll be a change in character from this downside move is what I'm saying. And also, if it did that, then the 4 hour MACD would likely be getting close to switching back to the upside. Across the zero line, I mean, and well, I've said it many times, that gives you momentum back to the upside. So yeah, so there you go. So that's my price action for today. As I said, it would be good if Bybit could get back up towards CME's closure at 64.3. We'll see that happens. See if that happens in the next 5 hours. Anyway. Enjoy what's left of your Sunday. Oh, and do me a favor, if you've got anything out of this video, then please like and subscribe. And please, if you haven't, don't come back tomorrow, because I'll be doing it for Monday, the new week, the 8th week within the range. Oof, exciting.